Okay, let's have a lesson on this piece. You might have this piece in another book, but if you don't, it comes from my Easy Classical Guitar Volume 2. There's a link for that underneath the video, but just watch the video for free and pick up some tips about approaching new pieces and Renaissance Lute Works and things like that. So this is a very popular piece. It's in lots of books, and there's a couple of things about it that are a little tricky, in particular the fingering choices. As with all the pieces that we've done so far for my book, play the melody on its own. That's always a great idea. I won't do the whole melody in this particular piece, but just trying to create some nice shaping, dynamic shaping and phrasing to the line. Once you have that down, you can put in all the chords, but try to keep that melody nice and high quality. What I want to talk about is a couple of fingering choices, and then we'll just do a walkthrough of the piece. The left-hand fingering, I've chosen to go with like a real basic, straightforward fingering from my kind of easy collection here, which involves jumping the first finger around. So you kind of take that A minor shape, and then just jump your first finger into that E, which works just fine. And so I've chosen that fingering, but it is kind of a weird jump from the C to the G sharp. It's not the most legato jump. So if you wanted to change the fingering, and if you're more on the beginner side, please don't. But if you want it to be a little bit smoother, you could use 3/4 at the beginning, 2, and then one is available. That fingering works really, really well too. So that's 3/4, 2, 1. I kept it just like this to keep everything kind of just in first position, more for the beginner level students. But if you're more on the intermediate level side, you could consider doing that. And I've left a note about that in the comments at the end there. Besides that, the fingering is pretty straightforward for the piece. There's a couple of right-hand fingerings that I did add in, which just encourages a little bit more alternation of the fingers, which will help smooth it out. So for example, at the beginning, I go P-I-M, A-M, P-I, which might seem weird to throw the thumb onto the third string there, but it keeps the thumb as the lowest voice, which is very consistent and sometimes nice for the way that you shaped the bass line. And also it makes sure that we're going A-M-P-I, so always alternating the fingers as much as possible. Sometimes with all the chords in this piece, you will repeat fingers, but for the most part, when you're doing those individual lines, just try to alternate as much as possible. The other part was bar 9, where I do P-I-M, and then A, P-I-M, P-M-A. So just trying to like change it up a little bit. Of course you repeat the M finger there, but there's nothing you can do. For the bars 10 there, I continue that idea of P-I-M, A, P-I-M, and then P-M-A. So same fingering as the previous bar. And then when it starts to repeat, I go P-I-M, A, P-I-M, and then I repeat P-I-M, A, P-I-M, P-I-M, just to make sure that it's consistent and not overly complicated. Let's do a walkthrough of the piece. With the phrasing of this piece, you kind of you do this lift, but then you back away when you do these lines. You really just want a sense of 1, 4, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So lots of just thump, thump. So lots of just that primary beat without getting too involved. You don't want this. Like lots of pounding out of every note. Keep it very focused on the main beats, which is 1 and 4 in 6/8. And when you see a conductor conduct 6/8, they often just conduct 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, because it feels just like 2 beats per bar. Here, variation of that same music, but he breaks it into little scale passages. Same music. Changes it up a little bit here. Up the right hand fingering there. Just keep it as PIM, A, PIM. You can use other fingerings if you're comfortable just like alternating in different ways, but you might want to keep it more consistent there. When you get to those cadences, you build up the tension, but then relax when you actually arrive at the destination chord. A little variation. Build it up and relax. So, you know, when you're playing Renaissance music, the thing that gives it that Renaissance flavor is a mix of the rhythm being kind of a light dance, a bouncy kind of dance like that with lots of pulse. Combined with like nice shaping of the lines and tapering off of the lines, not just pounding everything out, but like really shaping it nicely. Those two things in cooperation work really well to create this kind of lyrical dance flavor. So I think that's about it, just that alternative fingering, but besides that, it's a fairly straightforward piece and a really great sounding, very Renaissance kind of feel to it. So practice that melody on its own, really feel the pulse, and I think that the music will emerge from the written music there.